Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be a very different one, and it's something I've been very excited to do for the past 4 days. It's a Led Zeppelin 4 album review, and I just want to say that I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan, and this video means a lot to me. I've worked for this video, and it's something I really hold close to my heart. So the entire album has got a beautiful melodic mood to it, and some say it's a representation of human emotion and different phases of human life, but some say it's just pretty random. But I believe that Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones and John Bonham, they let us decide ourselves and let us be the true judge of what we want to perceive the album as. Now, to begin with, I'm a massive Led Zeppelin fan, as I've said, and their music is really uplifting. So this was a very meaningful album. So there's a total of 8 songs in the album. The opening title track of the album is Black Dog, which according to many people is representation of human desire, mainly because it was more straightforward for its time and it was quite modern for the time it came out in. The song has no meaning whatsoever in my opinion, but it genuinely means what the lyrics say. The second song is Rock and Roll. However, this song was a song expressing human emotion of heading back to the past and attaching or getting back to your roots. So Rock and Roll was also making a statement to critics who criticized them for not being rock and roll enough in Led Zeppelin 3, their previous album. So they were just making a bold statement in the second song. The third song was the Battle of the Evermore, and it was another very brilliantly written song, but in the end it was just Robert Plant fandoming over The Lord of the Rings and Tolkien's work. Apparently, Robert was really interested in his writing, and it was quite visible in many of the songs he's written. Well, again, it could be a representation of human emotion that implies being attached to things like literature, music, or any other interests. We tend to hold them quite close to our heart, and we like expressing them whenever we get the chance to. For Robert, it was music. The fourth song, Stairway to Heaven, one of the most beautiful songs ever written in the history of rock and probably the entire world. When you actually read the lyrics and try to understand what it means, you can actually see Robert Plant's genius. This song almost reminded me of Bohemian Rhapsody in some aspect, but I heard that, I've read from many places that Bohemian Rhapsody was actually criticized for being a rip-off of Stairway to Heaven. But I do have to agree that Bohemian Rhapsody was a fantastic and phenomenal song. So I was talking about Stairway to Heaven, and it was a depiction of the entire band's genius. From the foundation of John Bonham and John Paul Jones to the lead, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, it was a true and complete package of emotions. And here again, there are some biblical references and Lord of the Rings references. Some aspects probably don't mean much because they're just dreams that Robert Plant had and thoughts that were just crossing his head. The fifth song, Misty Mountain Hop, is actually Robert Plant's narration of his experience at Hyde Park one night when he was high on drugs and completely lost. He was arrested by an unruly policeman apparently, and he also describes his small, short-term experience in jail. It's a song of realization for Robert Plant, but yet again, it's one of the band's finest compositions. The band has all absolutely amazing in this song, and probably like every other song. The sixth song, Four Sticks, is another brilliant composition, a very, very catchy song. And this song was actually about Robert Plant's love life, but I really want to give special credit to John Bonham in this song because of his work behind the drums. Absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, I think John Bonham deserves full credit because this was one of the most beautiful percussions I've ever heard, probably in any song. Seventh was Going to California, is a band's experience with weird things they encountered in California. I mean, they did drugs, they experienced earthquakes, and there's also a reference to a girl Robert Plant and Jimmy Page were obsessed over, and her name was Joni Mitchell, who was a Canadian songwriter. This was also a kind of self-realization for Robert Plant, he was struggling to find himself. And it was also an acoustic masterpiece, and this was probably done to calm the tempo of the album because they had a very fast and high tempo beat on Four Sticks, the previous song. Number 8 was When the Levee Breaks, and this is when the album comes to an end. From just a listener's point of view, it was a very, very nice song to listen to. Composition wise, again, as I said, a true masterpiece. But lyrically, I couldn't decipher much. I didn't know what it meant. And if you have actually listened to the song and know what the lyrics mean, feel free to tell me what they mean. I mean, here you go. I've reviewed on my favorite albums. I feel extremely happy that I worked on this video. So this might be a very different video again, but it's really close to my heart. Thank you for watching.